Welcome to Sib Spot. Today's featured Reddit stories are from Entitled People. Story 1 today is by Big Bookkeeper 1678. Entitled Grandmother at the Movies. We went to see The Accountant 2 yesterday. Decent movie. In front of us was a woman about our age, in her 50s, who turned her phone on and off a few times. I didn't see, but my wife did and let it go until the woman progressed to a full-blown conversation during the movie. My wife said in a neutral tone of voice, "Please turn off your cell phone." The lady actually did. At the end of the movie, the lady tried to call out my wife. Lady: "Was my cell phone bothering you?" Wife: "Well, yes it was." Lady: "How was it bothering you?" Wife: "It was distracting during the movie. You aren't supposed to have your cell phone on." Lady: "My little phone distracted you from that big screen?" Condescending tone of voice. Wife: "Yes, it was bright and you were talking." Lady: "What am I supposed to tell my grandchildren when I don't answer them?" Wife: "Tell them you are in a movie and you can't talk now." Lady: "I don't understand how you get to, at this point I had enough." Me: "Unbelievable! You are not allowed to have a cell phone on during a movie and you are trying to make us the bad guys. Just shut your entitled butt up." I said butt so they couldn't claim that I cursed at them. Lady's husband: "Did he?" Me to my wife: "Let's go." And we left. I can't stand entitled people who make it out like the ones who object to them breaking rules are somehow in the wrong. "My little phone, was it bothering you?" Yes, that's what you don't understand. For some people, the slightest little distraction can really derail something they're trying to focus on, whether it's big or small. And I'll never forget one experience I had at a movie theater years and years and years ago, and I think I've talked about this before on this channel. But we were watching Wolf of Wall Street when it came out. I think it was actually called Gangs of New York, now that I think about it. It was not Wolf of Wall Street. That would have been not too many years ago at this point. Me and my mom and my dad, I think that's all who was there that day. And for some reason, during the whole movie, somebody behind me was like moaning on occasion and breathing heavily like they were just over my shoulder. It was awful. Just the whole time. It was, I don't even want to go further because I'm sure that bothers other people just as much as it bothers me. And I didn't know if this was like some couple who was doing something weird behind me, or maybe it was somebody with a mental health problem that had weird breathing issues or something. So I never said anything. I never turned around. I just endured, and I don't remember most of the movie because the entire time I was just aware of this person annoying me from behind. This was also a full movie theater. This movie had just come out, so I didn't move anywhere. Yes, small distractions can be detrimental to somebody's enjoyment of the movie, so try not to distract them if you can avoid it. Your grandchildren can wait. You do not have to reply to them in the hour and a half or 2 hours that you're in a theater. Our next story today is by K. Teeks 31875. Target Stacy. My mom is recovering from surgery, so I drove her to Target so she would be able to treat herself. We were browsing through the sunglasses and earrings. There was a small vanity mirror placed in that section on the table so you could get a close look at everything you're trying on. As my mom is checking herself wearing a pair of sunglasses, this random girl goes in front of her and takes the mirror. She then positions it on the table facing an open area. I assumed she was a Target employee at first, moving stuff around, but then she said, "Sorry, but there's no mirrors around for me to see how I look in these clothes," as she started using the tiny mirror to check herself out. Whatever. After she walked away, I placed the mirror back where it was so we could continue with the earrings. About 10 minutes later, she comes back and does the exact same thing. This time, her boyfriend was next to her and smirked after I said WTF. As she was checking herself out, I just went in front of the mirror anyway and looked at how a pair of earrings looked. At the end, I saw them walk out with nothing. Can we ban these creatures? Yes, Please, let's ban these creatures. People who are just really bad and inconsiderate people. But then we wouldn't have stories like this and I wouldn't be able to read to you guys. So yeah, there would be benefits to removing them, but there would also be downsides to it for me. Our next story is by Spaniard Sensei. The reserved seat, it's obviously for me, not your stroller. Today was one of those days that just tests your patience. After a long, exhausting day with my wife and kid in his stroller, I just wanted to get home. I was already running low on energy, but of course, life had to throw a little extra at us. The first bus arrives, but nope, we can't get on because the stroller spots are taken. So now we're stuck waiting another half hour, the kids starting to squirm and my desire to just be home growing with every passing minute. Finally, the next bus comes along. It's fairly crowded, but I only see one stroller, so I ask the driver if we can get on. He says there's a spot available. Relief. We step inside, only to run straight into her. A woman in her 50s, comfortably seated on the foldable bench in the designated area, the kind of seat that's only meant to be used when the bus isn't full. Around her, shopping bags stacked up like furniture, taking over the space. I moved in with a stroller, expecting some kind of reaction. Nothing. Okay, fair enough. Sometimes people get distracted and need a little nudge. So I do the obvious. Point out that this is the reserved area and we need to park the stroller properly. And that's when the fun begins. At first she ignores me. Not even an acknowledgement. Then, when I directly ask her, she acts annoyed, shuffles some of her bags around but barely makes space. The gap she leaves is barely enough to shove the stroller in, definitely not in the safe position it needs to be in case of a sudden stop. Now I'm tired. I already had to let the last bus go. I don't have the patience for this. I keep it polite, but I make it clear she has to move. Probably came out a bit sharper than I intended, but honestly, I wasn't in the mood for diplomacy anymore. She resists, complains, talks about how she has her groceries, how the bus is already packed, how I should just deal with the space she generously left. I push back. We go back and forth until finally the driver steps in. He announces loudly for the whole bus to hear that if the stroller isn't positioned correctly, he can't drive and that she either moves or gets off. That changes everything. Suddenly, I'm no longer just some stroller guy annoying her. Now she's the reason the bus isn't moving, and the whole crowd is watching. With dramatic frustration, she snatches up her bags, squeezes herself into whatever space she can find, and, of course, starts mumbling about how unfair this all is. Loud enough for everyone to hear, hoping for sympathy, but no one bites. In fact, what she got were nasty looks, which eventually shut her up. In the meantime, we settled the stroller properly, exhausted but ignoring her completely. Thankfully, our kid stayed calm almost through the whole thing. The last 5 minutes he started being noisy, but luckily we managed to half-handle the situation until we finally reached our stop. What, you expect me to move? Me and my huge amount of grocery bags around me? This is just too much for me to move. I would have loved it even better if the driver just said, take your groceries and exit the bus. You know this is the stroller spot. Take your stuff and get off the bus. And then she can see how hard it is for her to manage all of her bags of groceries to get home. Be polite to people. There's a procedure to follow. There's a space for things on the bus. If you're taking up way too much space with all your garbage, you're probably in somebody's way. Our last story today is by Sweetness Petiteness. My sister called me an idiot for paying off her credit card 10 years ago. I, a 32 female, have helped my sister, who's 34, a lot financially for the past 5 years. I'll be blunt. She's broke, and I have had a decent income since my early 20s. A couple of years ago, I paid off her credit card in full as she was having trouble affording rent, is a single mother with a 6-year-old son, etc. We recently went on a trip to visit our younger sister, and I paid for her flight, hotel, meals, rental car, everything. We got in a fight while on this trip, and I asked her why she doesn't appreciate anything I ever do for her. I mentioned paying off her debt a couple of years back, and she replied, "That was 10 years ago. I didn't ask you to do it. You're just an idiot and pay for everything." So since then, I don't pay for crap, obviously. A month or so after the trip, I got a text from her asking if I could help her with rent. I didn't respond at first, but a few days later, I asked if she was okay and still needed help. Apparently, she took out a loan and told me no, all is fine. Now I'm hearing from my little sister that she's saying I refused to help her and told her I hope she gets evicted. And this was after I reached out to offer help. I'm beyond pissed and done with her. I offered her help and she's throwing a pity party and painting me as a horrible sister. I guess I was an idiot for paying off her card years ago. Added context, we were extremely close, basically best friends growing up. Her behavior changed immensely the past couple of years. Stress can do that to people, and financial stress is some of the worst stress out there. And some people who are stressed financially feel like they can never get out of it. So that can really change your personality and make you a more negative person. I'm not saying there's any excuse for what she's doing to you at all. She's not very appreciative, and she also takes advantage of you on the regular. But she is your sister, and you're great for having helped her in the past. If it's true that she actually lied like this, while saying you don't help her financially, then you should just never help her out financially again. She can find somebody else to ask for money. Our stories for today have come to a close. It is raining outside, but it's still beautiful. It's actually pretty warm, and we're going to have a beautiful weekend coming up on Friday and Saturday. It's going to be incredibly warm here. I'm really looking forward to it because I always take my cat outside and do some raking and some yard work. So glad that the snow is pretty much gone. We had a little snow show up the other day. We got like a foot of it and it melted overnight. So I hope you guys get whatever weather you enjoy, whether it be sunny or cold or rainy or just whatever you love. I hope you get some good weather coming your way. Our stories for today have come to a close. Until we meet again, if you enjoy this content, click like or subscribe, or you can click the notification bell. It will let you know when new episodes drop. Until we meet again, have a stupendous day.